Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Lord Frost has come out and said that arrangements must be made with Reform UK at the next election. He says either absorption, one absorbs the other, or a full sort of formal coalition pact, or at the very least an informal agreement not to stand against each other where they're particularly strong. Said they must not split the right vote and we must work together to get rid of this awful Labour government. Now, there are many in the party that may agree with him. There's some in Reform that may agree with him in principle. However, where Labour have won so many seats by such a very small margin, it's usually Reform that are in second place. Would the Tories be willing to give up fighting in those seats to allow Reform to get through? And what about those seats where the Tories would be second place? Would Reform give up those seats? Give up the chance of winning those seats? What about those seats where the Tories are currently, embedded and it's their current seat? Would Reform not fight against them? It's all very complex. There are permutations upon permutations. It is an infinite number of futures. You would need Doctor Strange to sit there and go through 19 million futures to find the one, wouldn't you? The one. But I think certainly something has to be done. You cannot risk Labour getting in on a split right vote. So, hey, what do? Do we say, okay, look, this, and this. You pick the seats you think are definitely winnable off Labour. And then everything else is a free-for-all? Possibly that would work. I think if the Tories said, okay, we won't oppose you in these 50 seats, you don't oppose us in those 50 seats. That's a goable concern. That's doable. But I think it would have to be those 50 seats. Everything else, it would be battle royal, free-for-all, a melee, if you like. But when you're getting senior members of the Tory party, such as Lord Frost, suggesting this, and you know that there'll be others that would back him should he propose it, it's going to make life difficult for Kemi because she's already said she doesn't want to do it. Jenrick even has suggested there may be informal arrangements, unsaid, undocumented, but look, let's just say we're not going to put too much effort into fighting that seat, kind of thing. I think it's things like this. It's these little things that are going to be the doom of Badenoch, I think. Unless Kemi gets on board with reality and faces the reality that, the two parties of the right have got to work together in order to defeat Labour. And not just defeat them, demolish them. They've got to be so weakened, so demolished, that it will be multi-generational before they can put their face back on the table. And we've got to make being left-wing so socially unacceptable that nobody would ever be left-wing. Make voting Labour like drink driving or like smoking indoors. Make that the same thing and save our country. Let me know what you think. Thanks very much. Take care. Goodbye.